Yeah. That's lovely. We know that within New South Wales there's probably about 20,000 koalas left. We know that they're on a precipice. We know that we need to act now if we're going to turn around the trajectory of koalas. We know that if we don't, they could be extinct by 2050. Before COVID, we'd have 2 million visitors through our gates every single year, more than 2 million visitors. And we have not just an opportunity, but an absolute obligation to connect them with those animals and to help them understand the issues afoot and what they can do to make a difference in the life for our animals.
They've got this wonderful waterproof coat, and it was so highly... We don't endeavour to have too many koalas here in care with us. We do want them out in the wild where they're boosting up that wild population. The wonderful thing about this is they are all wild koalas. They've not been bred in captivity for the purpose of tourism, though it does offer that educational perspective. So koalas that are able to be shown to people that they can appreciate the plight of the koala. What can we do in our own backyards and in our own areas? What can we do to preserve that habitat for them that they're so reliant on? So protecting that wild population. So Kai is completely blind, even without even though she's blind, she still is well aware of the enclosure. So this, behind all six, often guys it's a matter of changing our perspective, looking from a different angle.
In some ways, I know it will sound strange, it's about having less koala here in our sanctuary. Is when we know we've done a good job, or the job that we do here is correct, because koala in the wild is where they need to be.
He's only tiny. But you are investigate. Have a look at this. Now some of our koalas is here.
I have to work hard for it.
You can also see at the bottom of the enclosure.
What we're starting to learn is that animals that are photographed out of context, where they're more like a prop than celebrating the inherent nature of the animal, people who see that image walk away with two things in mind. One, they'd make a good pet, and number two, they're less endangered than they really are. So really, to me, a good encounter with an animal or a good photograph with an animal is one that respects the welfare of the animal and puts that first and foremost. Number two, it really considers the context in which the image is taken and really celebrates the inherent nature of the species. And number three, and really importantly, there's a genuine conservation message and outcome attached to it as well.
Doesn't have the best climbing skills anymore. So she is one of the girls in here, Isla. You'll see her story. So these koalas being wild, we don't touch or hold them. We limited our interactions. Each state within Australia has different legislations, but often when you do travel and you can interact with a koala for that typical photo, that koala generally has been bred in captivity for that purpose. Where our koalas, we offer them that respect as a wild koala to just observe them in the natural enclosures. So they're still free to behave like a koala would in the wild and move around the trees, and we just keep them nice and safe and observe them from a distance.
We've got a leaf moving on wind.
We want people to feel like you're in their habitat, not they're in ours, as it's a very important takeaway.
No, so it is all secure.
Accidentally be...
No, melody, doesn't it? It might look good. Under the ears and under the arms, the abdomen.
Yeah, well, they obviously have the koala's best interests at heart. The fact that they minimise their interactions so that the koalas can get back into the wild in the most appropriate way is really nice to hear. They're obviously very caring, and it's a nice, modern, up-to-date facility as well. So obviously the care that koalas are getting is top rate.
Came into care, we just took her into care because she looked very tired and stressed. There was a lace.
So I guess there's a bit more optimism and hope rather than feeling a bit sorry for the animals as well. Yeah.
it's actually nice that we're not holding them. It's nicer for them just to be in the tree, yeah, because we didn't realise that they were as frightened of noise and, yeah, people.
I think when we have visitors in that come to see our animals, and that hopefully they're walking away with not only just an understanding of how they can protect them in their everyday choices, but when they do encounter them in the wild, how that they can give them their distance, how that they can, you know, capture that experience without impacting on the animal in a negative way.
How can we protect that environment for them so that both Australians and the koalas can live harmoniously?
Possibly look at, be able to identify some of the signs that indicate a koala may be in distress, and indeed, of course, understand who to call to come and assist koala.